Today I thought I'd teach you a really simple polymer clay baked good project. Stay tuned and see how easy this one is. Alright, to begin our little apple tart, we are going to start out with a piece of dough colored clay. And this is just Primo Ecru color. And I've got a 3/4 inch round cutter. I rolled this out with my pasta machine to the thickest setting, so it will give us a nice strong base to work on once this gets all done. So we need a round circle, and I'm going to roll this back through my pasta machine and bring it down to about the 3rd setting, because we don't need it so heavy now, so thick now. On a thin strip, because now we are going to cut our edge, what's going to go around our tart. Try and make a strip that's hopefully just a little bit wider than this is tall. Yes. I'm going to bring it around and cut it. And we're going to bring it around. And now we have our tart shell. So now we're going to put this clay off to the side. And we need to get out our clay for our apples. So let me stop the camera, get that out, and then for our apples we need a chunk of translucent clay. This is female translucent white with about that much or so yellow ochre clay, and it's also female. And for this I'm going to condition this clay until it's thoroughly mixed, which could take a while. We'll see. If it goes together pretty quickly, I will put the camera on. So this is a really simple little baking project, and it makes for a really cool little display, yet it's easy, and it doesn't take any like special little pans, which I know can be really hard to find sometimes. I know that finding, like, say, a pie tin for the dollhouse is really difficult to get one in scale, because as much as people want it to, a bottle cap is not in scale. Alright, so we've got it pretty well mixed. Finish mixing it with my fingers. And then it just makes kind of a beigey color. And I think this is going to make way more apple mix than I need even. So we're going to roll it down into a snake. It's probably about, how thick is this? It's around a little under a 1/4 inch, not quite down to 3/8 of an inch. Alright, now we're going to flatten it so that it's kind of a rounded on the top, but kind of a rounded half circle. Hopefully when I cut it, it will show what I'm meaning. That's what we want. We want something like that. See if I can get in a little closer. Oops, wrong way. I want something like that. And, well, I'm going to cut a bunch of them, and then we'll start laying them out. And you want to cut these pretty thin. They'll look much more realistic if they're really thin. Okay, we get that many cut, and I'll show you how to put these in. Then I'm going to turn off the camera and go ahead and work on this. So I like to use a tool. It's just simply easier to lift the apple slices. And You want the rounded side to be up and the flat side, you want the rounded sides of the top one to overlap the flat edge of the one before it. So I'm going to go all the way around the outside of this, and then I will be back. Alright, when I got all the way around, I just kind of lifted up the first one a little bit so that the last one could go under it. And we're just going to take a few more and just, whoops, fill in this kind of center area. I know sometimes in the real ones they'll bend the apple slices around to make almost like a little rose, but I'm not going to get that fancy on this. If you want to do that and take a picture and post it on the Facebook page, I would love to see it. Now, we've got all our little apples in there, and it's filled up nice and full. So now we are going to take our chalks, just like we do with any baked good. I'm going to get all my clay out of the way so I don't get it dirty. I have my yellow ochre. I have one of my medium reddish browns. And I have a dark brown. And I have a eyeshadow brush. Now you could texture the outside of the crust if you wanted to. I don't find it's necessary on this particular project. I find that it looks just fine when it's smooth on this one. But that's up to you. If you want to use a toothbrush before you put the apples in and do that, that's fine. It's up to you. Now we're going to brush our yellow ochre chalk over everything. Because remember, it's all baked together in the oven in real life, so the apples would also be a little bit baked. I got a little too much yellow ochre on there, but that's okay. Just a touch of red, the reddish brown, because we don't have much to color here. Mix it in with what's left of the yellow, and just kind of go around the edge. Just touch the tops. And now the brown, the darker brown. And this we want very little of. You want a very light touch. Just you don't want it to look like you burnt it. And now this needs to be baked according to the directions on your package of clay. When mine's done, I'll be back. Alright, so our apple tart is baked and cooled. So now we can add some, oh, that is close. I was going to be close so you can see what I was doing. We're going to add some shine to the apple part only. Now this is gallery glass in amber, and I use this a lot on foods when I want to make them look baked and moist, like the apple portion. See if this will focus. Come on, focus. My camera does not want to focus today, and I don't know why. Hopefully it's focused. So we're going to squirt out just a little bit on the tile. And it's kind of off camera where I put it, but that's okay. I just don't want to run my tart into it. And I've dipped a brush in, and I'm just going to paint this on these apples. You don't have to coat every little bit, but try to get most of the apples coated, and try not to get too much out on the pastry part. And yeah, this looks kind of scary at this point. Don't worry, it will dry clear. Alright, so now I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll be all done. So here we go. It is all finished and ready for your dolls to put out to tempt them for dessert. I hope you enjoyed this really simple polymer clay project, and we'll come back again next week and see what we do then.